Now, I'm yet to see an African president that doesn't care for his people like Omar al-Bashir of Sudan. You know that this man was accused of being responsible for the genocide in his country that killed more than 400,000 people in Darfur and displaced more than 2.5 million. In fact, the International Criminal Court has declared him wanted since 2009. And don't forget the war with South Sudan that lasted for about 19 years, which resulted in millions of Southerners being displaced, being starved, and deprived of education and healthcare. In fact, this resulted in almost 2 million casualties, which is why Southerners decided to separate from Sudan and be independent. And now we have a new country in Africa named South Sudan. But even after South Sudan seceded, this man still has not relented in abusing his own people. First of all, almost every day in Sudan, someone is given like 20 to 100 lashes on a court order for minor offenses. Yes, maybe for stealing or for adultery or for whatever. I mean, just imagine the Deputy Chief Justice Abdurrahman Shafi, boasting that they've amputated more than 16 people since 2001. Why? How can you be proud of that? How can you be proud of something like that? So if you commit an offense and you're guilty, it's either they cut off the person's hand or legs, or they stone them, or they flog them in public. I mean, it's just like 30-year-old Adam Al-Muthna, who was accused of stealing $228 in 2006. $228. So, you know that on February 14th this year, Valentine's Day, you know that his right hand and left foot were amputated? Yeah, because of $228. Even though the sentence drew strong rebuke and condemnation from several human rights groups, both inside Sudan and abroad, the guy was amputated. Not only that, remember Leila Ibrahim, a 23-year-old mother of a 6-month-old baby that was sentenced to death by stoning last July. Remember, because of adultery. In her case, though, the man who impregnated her was not arrested or prosecuted. It was just her, as if she born the baby by herself, So they almost killed her last year, if not for the intervention of international human rights organizations. Plus, Sudan has a very, very complex security system and apparatus that crushes protest and any uprising, with brutal force. So even if the people of Sudan want to protest, the fear of what the government will do to them keeps them from protesting. So yes, you can protest anything in Sudan. But the latest development now is that those in charge of amputating people are saying that they don't want to continue doing that. So the government turned to doctors. In fact, doctors were the ones that amputated Adam Al-Muthna. But now the doctors are reluctant, They're like, hey, this doesn't look good. We don't want to keep doing this, So guess what? They are saying that doctors that are reluctant to amputate criminals will be prosecuted. That means the doctors themselves may be facing amputation. But not only that, the Deputy Chief Justice, the same Abdurrahman Shafi, has announced that the government of Sudan is prepared to start training judges, to be doing the amputations right in court. So just try to picture that. Yes, that means if you're taken to court and you're pronounced guilty and the sentence is that you be amputated, the same judge that pronounced you guilty will just amputate you right there. Yes, you just cut off your hand right there, or cut off your leg, right? Why do we think like this in Africa? Why? Can you believe that? In 2013, while the rest of the world is actually progressing, some people are still thinking like this? So that, seriously? What about establishing youth empowerment centers, career development centers, and what about providing basic amenities for the people? Yes, I mean, first of all, this man has been in power for way too long, 24 years.